Hello everybody, back here again for our vlog a day, and today is Wednesday the 25th, and today was a gorgeous day outside, a few clouds in the air, but not too much. Got up nice and hot, really was just a gorgeous overall day. You gotta expect this time of year. Nice summer, I don't know, just a beautiful day. Had a lot of things that felt right about the day. Decided I was gonna go ahead and run my 7th marathon for the day. So I kind of changed my schedule around a little bit, did a bunch of things earlier, got some things taken care of, and basically decided to hell with it. I was going to go out and run. So I ended up taking off. Actually, I did a whole bunch of stuff earlier today. Went and checked my grandmother. She went and had eye surgery. She had cataract surgery done today. It was supposed to be tomorrow. I was going to take them up to Des Moines, both my grandparents. My grandpa doesn't do as good as he used to driving around Des Moines and stuff. He gets a little frustrated, but he's 80 plus years old, so other thing is he gets a little bit like worried and a little bit freaked out when he's waiting in the waiting room for my grandmother's surgeries or any type of operations or any type of just anything he gets taken away or she gets taken away from him or vice versa. And they sit in the waiting room and neither one of them are willing to get up and go ask a nurse or staff or anybody, hey, how much longer is it going to be? How's it going? Can you give me an update? And they don't want to bother anybody. They don't want to be a burden. They don't want to be whatever. And they don't ask for crap and they sit there forever and they get worried and get freaked out and that makes them sick and drains them and it's just a giant mess. So they're probably the most milquetoast people I've ever met in my life. They don't want to say shit if they had a mouthful type thing. So I'm more of the type that if things aren't going well or if there's information I need, I'm going to find out and get it solved really quick. And there's like one of the times my grandmother was at the emergency room before my father passed when he was extremely sick and I was trying to take care of him and my grandmother got sick from all the worrying and stuff. I ended up over taking care of her, so I'm going back and forth across the street from the care center my dad was in the process of like actively dying back to my grandmother who I was hoping wasn't going to die on us. And she was freezing her ball. She was just freezing to death. She was just freezing completely. She didn't have a jacket. It was not warm. It was warm outside. It was summertime stuff, but the emergency room was just freezing cold. She asked for a blanket, and nothing happened. I heard her ask as I come walking up, and it was about 15 minutes went by, and I asked, and they said it was actually the second time they asked, and I lost it. She was asking for water also, and that hadn't got there. And after 15 minutes, I understand if it was busy, if there was bloodshot, blood all over the place, gunshot wounds coming and stuff. I walked up to the waiting room and they're just sitting around there bullshitting about their weekend and how they went out drinking and so on and so forth. And I said, hey, one of you need to get off your ass and go get my grandmother her blanket that she asked for twice now and the water. And while you're at it, bring my grandfather a blanket also because he's freezing his butt off. He'd actually taken my grandmother's jacket they took off to take her, blood and put an IV and stuff in. So my grandfather actually, this is the way they are. He actually had put her jacket on top of his legs to hold her jacket for her. Instead of putting it back on top of her own legs to warm her up, he was more concerned about himself. So there's a little bit of weirdness there, but that didn't happen. They actually got a call yesterday, I believe it was, or the day before, saying there was a cancellation in another small town over, and they went and had the eye surgery done today. So they said they didn't need me to go with them because it wasn't that far of a drive, and they feel like they're going to burden me because there's days and they're really going to need me and yada yada, which I told them, I said, be happy to go with you. They didn't want me going, and since I wasn't going to go tomorrow to do the eye surgery with them, decided to heck with it and decided to run the marathon. So I did go check on her. She's doing good. Her eyes are super dilated from the surgery. She can't see that great, but they said that's pretty common. The next 24 to 40 hours will really make a big difference, and hopefully she'll have much better vision because her eyes were pretty bad. She was getting to where she couldn't hardly see her TV. She's got a giant plasma, and she can't see it from 20 feet away. So definitely, hopefully, no, probably 10 feet away, not 20 feet away. 10 feet away, couldn't see it. So hopefully all that's going to go good. My grandfather was, out mowing when I got there, weed trimming, that kind of thing. So we talked for a little bit, headed out, did the rest of my running I need to do. Went to the grocery store, did my shopping, all that kind of thing. Came home, tried to get a little bit of a nap. I think I did doze off there for a little bit, probably 20 minutes or so. I lost consciousness in that ballpark range. And then I started getting texts from a friend of mine, and we talked for off and on a little bit. And I think they're going to give me a ride back tomorrow to go get my car. Because I decided, instead of doing an out and back or a round course, that kind of stuff, I just drove my car about 22 miles away, dropped it off in a Hy-Vee parking lot, and then decided to run home. It was one of those, no return type situations. If you make a whole bunch of small laps, one, it's boring. Two, just you can always stop, you can always quit. This one was basically I have to finish at least the 22 of it. So dropped off some water part way. I should have dropped the water off closer to home. I didn't think about it only being 22. instead of being a full 26 away. So I dropped it off a little bit closer than halfway to my house, not thinking about the fact it was only 22, not 26. So I ended up picking up the water. I wanted to pick it up around 16-mile mark, something like that. I think I ended up picking it up at like, I want to say 11-mile mark, something like that. I picked up pretty early, which I was a little bit disappointed in that part, but oh well. Ran my new hydro pack. It all worked pretty decently. Ended up realizing my left foot that I'd messed up on the first of the month. I screwed it up my first marathon of the month and ran my other one today, and my foot wasn't healed up completely. So I ended up walking a good chunk of it. Ran a little bit, walked some, ran some, walked some, back and forth. Got back into town. It was going to make my little loop around here to knock out the rest of my marathon, which is 26.2 miles. Came by the house about 24-ish into it. Grabbed myself some cranberry juice and my dog, because it was just too hot for him to be out there. So I grabbed him. We went and finished up the rest of the marathon. Had a good time. He was super excited to see me. Barking when I walked in the door. So I'm screaming him like, shut the hell up, because it's 1 o'clock in the morning, past 1 in the morning, I guess, when I got back. And I'm like, just shut the hell up. So I threw him outside out back, grabbed his, got a stupid gnat in here. But, might be a mosquito actually. But, threw him outside, grabbed his leash and stuff, grabbed my drink, hit the road, and went and finished it up. So in the run, it was kind of funny. As I was getting down, I was 25.25 miles into it, something like that, I think I was at the time. And there were some people out in front of their house, like 20 people kind of standing around the driveway. And I ran by, and it was, I don't know, about a block away. I kind of heard something coming up. And there was 3 kids, I don't know, high school age type area. The one kid had tattoos on his arm, so I don't know how old he would have been. They were kind of junky tattoos, but oh well. They ran up and said, "I had a question for me," blah, blah. So I stopped to watch. Want to know about the dog, how old or what kind of dog it was, yada, yada. I told him he ran from Albia back. Didn't tell him the dog didn't run that, because he has ran before those distances, just not today. So chat with them. They were like crazy impressed. They thought that was just insane. So went ahead, finally wrapped up my marathon. Super happy to be done. My body's hurting. My left foot is just on fire. I've got ice and stuff I've had on it. I'm going to ice it up again right before I go to bed. I'm going to ice it up in the morning to go from there. So that's all I got for right now. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe and wonderful day. Thanks for watching.